So our plan is to get to Cedar Lake. We're going to throw our gear in our canoe. We got a short paddle about 1 kilometer across the lake, and we started our trip with a 700-meter portage, a little bit of paddling, a 300-meter portage, and a 2,300-meter portage. Those are the highlights of the day. It's going to be it'll be the hardest day of the trip. We're going upstream with our heaviest packs of the trip, so stay tuned. There's going to be some grueling footage coming up. And Bill's offered to carry my second pack, so it's really nice. So it's going to make my trip a little easier because he just wants me to have a really good video, and he doesn't want me to be tired and stuff like that, right? So
you hit your head this morning.
All right, so stay tuned for a good time, and thanks for watching. Cheers. Okay, luckily the rain stopped, and we just, after doing about 20 minutes of driving, we just got to the park boundary. And this is what it looks like, the Brent Road. We're heading to Cedar Creek. We got another 15 kilometers to go. It's slow driving because the road's in pretty rough shape. But this is the Algonquin sign. So we're officially in Algonquin Park, and our trip's beginning. It's coming along. Gryphin and I are just in our boat, just leaving the Brent access point, leaving the beach there. Bill and Wes are to my left. It's about, I think we left around 11 o'clock, a little after 11, which is you know, really kind of late, but we had a nice breakfast at the Mattawa Golf and Ski Club, which is a nice little place off Highway 17. We're about an hour and a half into the Brent access point. And yeah, I mean, it was raining this morning. We got a great day on Cedar Lake. So our first portage is a 700-meter portage. I can see the Petawawa River already, and it's raging. So this whole trip, we're looking at historic water levels. The town of Mattawa had a state of emergency for flooding. We were just there, so with the winter they've had and all the snow melt and rain, it's extremely high water level. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out on the portages. We're prepared for it if we need be. But right now the sun's come out. There's really no wind to speak of, which makes for really nice paddling. It's about 10 degrees Celsius, and this is a perfect start to the trip. So we just finished crossing Cedar Lake. We are at the Cedar Lake Petawawa River portage, 715 meters. And again, it was a beautiful day. Hey, Bill?
Fantastic. Nice way to start. We got the rain early, and it seemed to stop just as we're pulling into the parking lot. So.
Wes?
Yes, sir. The sun's out. I'm too hot right now. I'm dying.
It is warm.
Hey,
it is warm.
Keep bragging about how hot you are.
It's not bad.
That's not what they want to hear.
That's right. I tell you, I can't hire the good help. All they do is complain. It's a little warm. It's a little cold. Scott, you didn't tell me it was going to rain.
I think he was talking about himself, though.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to get a quick video in. We ran into some friends that are out here, kind of doing the same thing we're doing, out to get some trout. But, you know, they kind of recognize you, so I thought it was kind of nice to maybe throw them on the channel, and maybe they'll get a kick out of seeing themselves on the video later on. And this is Micah, Steve, Luke, and Brandon. Yeah. And we just ran into them literally on the first portage, and it's pretty cool for me because this trip will mark 2 years. When I go back and upload this, it'll be 2 years since I uploaded my first video with Bill and Wes and my son Gryphin. And here we are later bumping into people on our first portage, which is pretty neat. Just a small community. Everybody else loves doing the same sort of things, and Micah got his friends out and inspiring people to get out and enjoy everything Algonquin Park has to offer, which is pretty epic. So guys, thanks. It was really cool meeting you.
Yeah,
thank
trip. You.
Yeah,
cheers.
Yeah, awesome.
Appreciate it.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man, cheers. So if you're ever coming down this portage from Cedar Lake to the Petawawa, or from the Pet to Cedar Lake, doesn't really matter, I guess. There's a lookout along the portage that's only, I don't know, not even 50 meters. There's a canoe hang, and for those of you who don't know that, if you ever see it on a portage, all it is basically a cut log horizontal to the ground, about 6 feet up. And when you see those on the trails, it's a good indication that there's a reason to stop there. Maybe it's a long portage and the rangers do it, or it's a scenic lookout. It just makes it easier to rest your canoe on. And I just did that, and the four of us stopped there and took a few fun pictures. Beautiful spot. Very, very high water. Historically high waters on this trip. I haven't mentioned that enough. But it is a beautiful day. I'm giddy just being out here. It's my favorite thing to do. If you haven't noticed, you've been watching my channels. Just love it. So thanks for joining me. Thanks again for all your support. Cheers. Paddle on the left now, buddy.
Oh,
what do you got?
Little chorus, little tree frog.
you ready? He's gonna jump.
Spring peeper.
Oh.
Oh, he has a trick.
Okay, go ahead.
He's gonna hop.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Hey guys, we're checking in. Me and Griff are just taking a break. Bill and Wes are ahead of us. We're on the 2,300 meter portage from Petawawa to the Petawawa. So, just to let you know, if you're ever doing this stretch, because the water's so high, the river paddling upstream was really tough to get to the portage. And I'm talking from the 700 meter portage going upstream to the 2,300 meter. As the river was starting to tighten up, because the water's so high, we had a really hard time paddling to get to the portage. I wouldn't say you have to be like an expert paddler to get there, but I was using a kayak paddle. Griff was using his paddle, and there was times where we were paddling as hard as we could, and just just standing still in the against the backdrop of the trees on the side of the shore. So it was a little tricky, but we got there. So just something to be aware of. I would imagine this is worst case scenario because of how high the water is. So it would probably only be easier as the summer goes on. But this is our little father-son time. Griff always, I think it's just normal to be a little sore. You gotta get used to the whole doing the portage thing.
For sure, you need to just get used to that. But when you're 4 days in, you're fine.
Yeah. This is going to be a 9-day trip. So this is our first day. We've really been on it maybe 5 hours, or no, not even 5 hours. So we had some snacks already, and then we're just making our way to Catfish Lake. But Griff's 12. He's been doing this since he's been 10. A lot of hard portages. He's done the Dixon to Bondfield. It's over 5 kilometers. So he's done his share of portages.
Haven't I done it ever since I was 9?
9? Well, we've been going to Algonquin a lot before that. But trips like this, like the trout fishing trip. Since this is your 3rd one, so you were 10 the first time you did it. And they've all been hard trips and long trips. So.
Oh yeah, 10, 11.
Yeah. So we're gonna rest up here, and we'll get back at it, and we'll get back to you. Thanks.
Pull that out and talk to it when you're yelling and screaming.
No, I edited that out. There's no yelling and
Crouching, double crouching, crouching.
there's no yelling and screaming on this channel. So it's still early. In the portages, there's a lot of downfall, so this one's not too big. I'm just going to clear this for so everybody else doesn't have to worry about it. couple of swipes with the sharp axe, and that's all it is.
Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome, Wes. I was glad I could help you.
My glad somebody cleared this for people that followed behind. That is one selfless, conscious, friendly backcountry camper. Thank goodness.
There's a lot of sarcasm going on this trip.
Like what a lot of people have done.
Yep. Any other way?
Oh.
We got our first fish of the trip, guys. Of course, I'm on the wrong side of the boat. Oh, maybe not.
I don't have them. Oh, bugger.
Oh.
I can't get them any closer to you.
I know.
Stop them from flopping. Yeah, good luck.
There we go. That's a brook trout. That looks like a big brook trout. Oh, that is a huge brook trout.
Holy crap, that is a brook trout.
Wow.
Lord, thundering.
Wow, that is a beauty.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Huge. Huge.
wow. Wow, that is. Oh, well, there we go.
Just kind of paddling, not really
I do. I do. Oh, you got something? There we go. Thank you. It's a huge one.
How many, you got 2 hooks in there?
2, yeah. Alright, let's hold him up for a nice, oh, okay.
Alright.
Now that, oh, nice, Bill. Alright, we're going to throw him back for good luck. There we go.
Nope.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll follow you. Certainly has been a mixed bag today. Sun's come out, it's been hot. It comes away, goes away. We've had thunder. It's been raining. But the forecast when we left was calling for a nice couple of days, 15 Celsius. Dropping down maybe close to 0 tonight. But having said that, it's really not a bad day to do a lot of portaging. I would much rather do portages cold and wet than on a really hot day. So we're just plugging away. It's just, I don't know, we're about maybe halfway through this 2,300 meter. Keep in mind we're doing a double carry, but one of the nice things about doing a double carry is when I'm with my son or friends, anybody, but particularly with him, Griff, is the walk back. You know, you're not carrying anything. It's a relaxing walk, even if it's uphill or downhill. That's when these trips are really special. As a parent, you just have conversations with your kids you're never going to have at home or on a soccer field or at school or whatever. And Griff is supposed to be in school right now. I pulled him out. And some people might be like, oh, you know, you pull out a grade 7, he's missing important stuff. Well, I've got 3 kids. My oldest 2 are honor roll students in high school. I can assure you, your kid's not missing anything in grade 7. No offense, Mr. Bachmeyer. I know Griff's teacher, actually. But that doesn't have anything to do with the reason why I pulled him. Griff's going to get more out of this trip, spending time with his dad, than spending a week in school. He'll get caught up. So I encourage you, if you get a chance, you want to catch some fish, this is the time of year to go. It's a little more demanding, but it's not impossible. If the average people can do this, no problem. It's nothing special about this. You just gotta have the will to do it, and you gotta be crazy. You don't have to be crazy enough like me and bring a bunch of cameras. You don't have to do that. Bill and Wes get to watch the video when they get home. I'm huffing and puffing here because this is a food pack. This is all the food for me and Griff for, well, some slippery rocks here, for 9 days. So it's a little heavy. The beauty of it is, the next time I do this trail, it'll be basically empty. And what I'll do is I'll just transfer some stuff and I'll balance out the pack so they're all a little bit lighter. That'll make it great. Whew. And I'm heating up. Well, it's time to get rid of this jacket. That's the last portage of the day. It's only 80 meters. I think it's about 6 o'clock, so, oh boy. We can't be getting out here. This is not good. Hold on, Griff. Hold on, buddy. We can't be getting out here, can we? That's that. Can't do that.
Throw this up and then pull the rope.
Okay.
Because I got it hooked, right?
It's
But it's heavy.
yeah, that's what I mean. I just usually. You want me to pull out?
Doesn't matter.
I'll push it back.
Yeah, you push the bag up and
One
I'll.
of the gloves sometimes I do for the rope.
Ready?
So you want me to give it a throw?
Yep.
Okay, 1, 2.
That'll do?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. That's
Well, ideally it's supposed to be away from the trunk of the tree. But
yeah.
let's see how much mine's gonna be over there.
Yeah, I know. It's where I've got it tied.
Yeah. I mean, there's another one here, right?
So then what?
See how the tree branch comes out?
Oh, put it right there?
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I'm really not worried about birds or bears, but at least it's up out of the ground, raccoons or something. But yeah, I mean, that's not really the best spot.
Okay, let's. Okay, do you guys want to eat first or do you want me to go ahead and eat?
Oh, go Wes, go ahead, buddy.
You sure?
Yep. Oh boy.
Right.
Oh, nothing.
Not awake?
Yeah, not awake yet. I'm gonna do some camera talk. Well, good morning. We got into our campsite last night around 7:30. We did about 8 hours of traveling. And again, that's doing double carries, right? So I think we probably hiked over 12 kilometers yesterday and paddled upstream. So as expected, yesterday was the hardest day of the trip, hopefully. And yeah, so we're all sleeping in today. We have I think we're boiling over. We got the Kelly kettle going. And we just boiled some water. There we go. Want to pour it in for you?
Sure, please, thank you.
Tell me when.
That's good for now. Let me mix it up a little bit. Thank you.
So anyways, me, Wes, are gonna have some breakfast here. Griffey's up, he's getting changed. Bill's still moving around in the tent. And we'll check back with you in a minute. It doesn't take long for this to cool off, eh? The oatmeal?
It was breezy earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just got my oatmeal hot off the
Yeah.
oven, and it was like,
So yeah, we're just having some oatmeal. Griff just finished his. One thing about oatmeal is it cools off quick when I put them on these steel plates. It got down to about -2 last night. And it was comfortable to sleep. Everyone had good rest, but this morning it was a little chilly getting out of the tent, so we didn't get out of the tent till about 9. Yesterday was an 8-hour day. We really didn't get going until about 11:30 is probably when we pushed off at Cedar Lake. And we did I would say over 12 kilometers of walking and hiking yesterday and paddling upstream on top of that. So 8 hours, and we pulled into this campsite in Catfish Lake around 7:30 last night. Set up and made some quick dehydrated meals, and that was it. You know, you were snoring last night, by the way. If I wasn't so tired, I would have videotaped it on my phone. But I'm like, you say daddy snores.
Everybody
You were
snores.
sawing logs.
Everybody snores.
I could see the sleeping bag lift up and down from the snoring. I'm telling you, yeah.
Everybody snores.
I just had to go to sleep fast enough so you didn't, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
Well-
We both snore. I just needed to go to sleep fast.
Well, it worked then because I got to go to sleep with you snoring.
Payback.
Revenge.
Exactly.
small pulley
Unbelievable.
on this whole thing.
I got a chain back there.
So just to give you guys an idea, this is something we on an island just not far from our campsite on Catfish Lake.
Literally tons
Yes.
of metal.
It shows up on Jeff's maps if you're ever in the area and you want to check it out. It's remnants. Wow.
Yeah, once it gets...
It's pretty heavy.
effective when it can self-propel. Once its ability to self-propel is done,
Scrap.
it's just left.
Yeah. Okay. Don't do that. All right, well, me and Griff just did the 400 and some meter portage from Catfish Lake. Catfish, we're basically passing through Catfish Rapids. We just ran into some campers who had an acoustic guitar. So Griff's aspiring guitar player. He just started taking lessons not even a year ago. It was really nice. They let him use their guitar and jam a little bit. It's fun. The great thing about these parks is everyone you meet is just so happy to be out here. Everybody's on the same page, sharing the same excitement for being out here. It's a fun time. Well, you're tangled up, Griff. We're just at Catfish Falls. Before we hit the portage, we thought we'd get a little fishing in. We ran into another subscriber, so that's kind of cool. Two different groups of people watch the videos, so that's kind of neat. I really appreciate that, guys. And yeah, we're just the guys we were just talking to had some nice brook trout that they grabbed from this spot. So there's always some left, but we're gonna fish here for a bit, and then we're gonna go stretch our legs.
Hey, how are you?
Oh boy. Oh.
This is winter for you.
We're just on a portage between the Petawawa. And I gotta tell you, there's as much snow in the bush as I've ever seen on my spring canoe trip. We have definitely came across some wet portages. Snowy, ice cold water over our boots. Griff's really happy. He's getting too big, and normally I carry him over this stuff. Yep. You're gonna get a soaker if you go this way, Griff. Pearly Lake is a long lake. We've been paddling for at least an hour. Seems a lot longer. Hopefully we're getting close to the portage. It's been pouring rain. It's been we've already got more rain on this trip than all of last trip last year. The nice thing was, about 15 minutes ago, Bill caught a really nice brook trout, probably at least 20 inches. But Griff's getting a little cold. He got his rain jacket on, but of course he didn't get a chance to get his rain pants on. We thought the rain would blow over. So I'm gonna get to the portage and warm up a bit, and then the portage is a short one. It'll take us to Burnt Root and hopefully our campsite for the night. Whew, this has been 2 full days of traveling to get to this spot. I hope the fishing's worth it. I'm sure it will be. But yeah, it's been a long 2 days. It'll be another 8-hour day today. That's two back-to-back 8-hour days. Today's a lot more paddling than portaging. The longest portage we did was about 500 meters. I think we did about 5 of them today. Okay, hopefully the portage is coming up soon. Pearly to Burnt Root. Well, this is our last portage of the day. We'll be base camping at Burnt Root for the next 5 days. Hopefully catching a bunch of lake trout to show you. But it's later in the day. We got to get this portage done and find a campsite. The water is so high, these portages have been tricky. So it's about 8 o'clock. We finally got to Burnt Root. We landed at a campsite on the North Island, and it's a beauty. Really happy. It was a long day. Probably the 2 longest days I've pretty much ever done on a trip like this. 8-hour days, and I guess what made it worse was it's raining now. Rained for the last couple hours. Feel kind of nice brook trout. It's kind of brightened up our spirits on the way here. Pearly Lake was a long paddle. But this is just an example of getting into camp here. First thing we did was set up this tarp. It's a large tarp, so we got all our bags under here. Then set up the tents, getting some dry clothes. Gryphin was pretty cold. And Kelly kettle going and heating up some food. And it'll be early night. But once I get in some dry clothes, this guy was just wearing my trekking pants. I had my rain jacket on, but I was, wet and cold. But when I'm paddling, I'm okay. And when it gets time you get there, you're starting to get a little chilly. Got in the tent, got some dry clothes on. I'm going to enjoy dinner under the tarp in the rain. Well, it's the end of our second day. It's 8:30. We've had dinner. Me and Griff are calling it a night, and so are Bill and Wes. They're in their tent. The wind's picking up. It's been raining since we got here. And that's why I brought an iPad for this trip. I thought I expected some rain and to be tied up in a tent for a day. I've been in a tent for an entire day during the rain. Brought an iPad for Griff and watched a little TV and a little father-son time. Thanks for joining us on our first 2 days. Hope you enjoyed the show. We got another one in the books. Cheers.